on Outback Truckers. Meet Turbo.
I am the devil's nightmare.
He's a trucker facing the fires of hell.
I'm going to be driving straight into the heart.
Owner-operator Yogi begins the biggest week of his career.
So the pressure's coming on there.
The future of his new business and family is at stake.
I've got no brake lights on the truck now on the trailer. It's something shortened out.
Sharon Collins faces a rocky road to make it in a man's world.
It can get a little bit exciting.
That is a wet operator.
This is Peter Titoff, aka Turbo. The hard-driving, hard-talking trucker has 33 years behind the wheel, and he's up for any challenge.
The devil wants to play. I want to play.
Turbo owns his own truck and business. His greatest challenge is keeping the work coming in and his rig fully loaded.
Every time that wheel doesn't turn, it costs a couple of $1,000. Those wheels turn, they make money.
He's on a job heading from Darwin to the remote mining town of Mount Isa to pick up a load. From there, he's heading home to Brisbane in Queensland. At 4,300 kilometres, it's like driving from New York to Los Angeles. It's not the distance he's worried about, but the fuel bill.
It's going to cost me $4,500 in fuel to come home, so there's $9,000 in fuel in a round trip in a week.
To help grease his palm with much-needed cash, Turbo's desperate to travel with a full load to Mount Isa. But this small boat is the only load he can come up with. It won't even pay half his fuel bill.
Ow. Ow. I just broke a nail. It's not going to play.
And Turbo has another, even bigger problem. He still hasn't been paid for his last job.
$100 sitting in the pocket ain't going to get you very far.
Without funds, he can't fuel his truck.
I've got to wait for, roughly $2,500 to clear so I can do my fuel tonight.
He hopes his wife, Jo, back home, has some good news.
Yes.
Hello, darling.
Hi.
What you doing?
Oh, nothing much.
So, is anything gone in the bank yet?
No, it hasn't gone in.
Hasn't f***ing gone in.
No, I told you, they got stuff you around.
Ah, for f***'s sake. It's not what I f***ing want.
No funds means no fuel, means Turbo's going nowhere. Deep in the arid Queensland outback, the temperature's heading for 40 degrees. The last rain was months ago. For the last 9 months, it's been home to tipper driver Sharon Collins.
I've got a road train of 3 side tipper trailers, and we're hauling gold from a mine out the back of Forsyth into the mill at Georgetown itself.
The 37-year-old Kiwi has been driving the big rigs for 2 years. She's based 8 hours inland, near the isolated town of Forsyth. Each round trip from gold mine to processing mill is 88 kilometres, twice the length of a marathon.
I try and get 4 loads in a day. It depends if you do tyres or you have an airline blow, or if all goes well, you can get your 4 loads in.
4 gruelling deliveries a day, 6 days a week for 9 months. Sharon's journey has already covered nearly 80,000 kilometres, like driving twice around the world. And in these conditions, Sharon's truck takes a beating.
Flat tyres out here are a regular occurrence. It comes with the territory that we're in. It's just rugged terrain.
Flat tyres mean lost time, and in this game, the bottom line is simple. No delivery, no pay.
The truck gets paid per tonne, how much I cart during the day. If you have a few issues during the day, you'll generally only get 3 loads in. I live in my truck. Towards the end of the year, you do get over it. Yes, I'm over it.
After 9 months of hard yakka, for Sharon, the end is in sight. In 2 days' time, she goes home.
It is really special to go home, open up the doors and the windows, and it's so fresh and sweet smelling.
In Katanning, Western Australia, Glenn Kendall, aka Yogi, is getting ready for one of the biggest, most stressful weeks of his career. The 37-year-old heavy haulage expert has been booked to transport several huge agricultural machines deep into the state's wheat belt, to the town of Dowran. It's a 330-kilometre round trip. The destination, one of the biggest farming exhibitions in the country.
30,000 people go past, I think, in a 2-day event, you know. It's going to be wet this year, I think, so it's even better when it's raining because farmers love the rain. So, yeah. No rain, no grain.
This agricultural fair is big business. Each year, millions of dollars are spent on machines like these. It's down to Yogi to deliver his clients' pride and joy, on time and without a scratch.
The ultimate goal for me with everything I do is no damage.
You want some breakfast?
For Yogi, there's more than just a big job at stake. He's a third-generation trucker and a devoted family man. And just 3 months ago, he and wife Amanda started their own business.
I suppose I do the behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, every business has got paperwork, so that's my big learning curve at the moment.
Amanda is also Yogi's pilot, guiding the wide-load truck through difficult sections of road.
We'll go home, get some lunch, and Dad will be there in a minute.
They've had to dig deep into the red to buy Yogi's second-hand truck and oversized trailer. It's a massive gamble.
I worry about the truck because it's an old truck. It's done 600,000 on a brand new motor. That's what worries me the most is, yeah, something could go wrong, you know.
This trip will be harder than most. Both Amanda and Yogi will be away.
It frustrates me going away, but, you know, once I know I've got to work, yeah. I know where I've got to be to make money. See you, kids. See you, mate.
In Darwin, owner-operator Turbo is still going nowhere.
I've got the biggest deadline that any driver anywhere in the world ever faces. Getting home to his family. Go and get my machine gun. Now.
Home is in Brisbane, Queensland, where Turbo lives with daughter Tracy and wife Jo.
I say I go away for a wedding. He burns the kitchen down. He comes in the door, strips off, throws his clothes all over the floor. Then he sits on the lounge in his undies and watches TV.
Yeah, but I'm allowed to...
Typical male.
Jo and Turbo have been together for 17 years, but in the beginning, life was tough.
Because when we first got together, he was never home. It nearly broke us up. But eventually I got used to it. And so now it's a lot quieter when he goes away.
Turbo is on the road for 46 weeks of the year. Running their business from home, Jo and Turbo can never escape the pressures of trucking life.
You're worrying about people paying you. You worry about your insurance. You worry about is the load getting right. You got to worry about other idiots in cars. Are they going to pull out in front of you and you're going to run over the top of them? I can come home and I can just play engine. That's me meditation.
He'd do almost anything for you. Good to have you on your side. He'll protect you. You have him home for a short time, but then eventually he starts pissing you off.
Like,
What did you do to the poor egg? Oh, you killed the poor thing. What did
well,
they
they
do?
pissed me off.
Yeah, the egg didn't do it. I'm always happy when he comes home. But then it's always nice when he leaves.
In Darwin, Turbo still can't buy fuel. He's stuck. And now, the weather has turned against him. In the baking Queensland Outback, tipper driver Sharon Collins is heading to pick up another load of precious gold ore.
It's 10 past 11 in the morning and the heat would be in the mid-30s already, and it's still going to rise a whole heap.
It's not a job for the faint-hearted, but for Sharon, it's a dream come true.
Truck driving's always been a passion to me. The bigger the more bling, the cooler they are, the better they sound. I've always looked at these big trucks and just had a dream, and I just love it.
Sharon's heading for the Big Reef gold mine. Here, the one objective is to get gold ore out of the ground and to the processing mill as fast as possible. Every minute and every load is valuable.
The carting of the ore is quite important, so they come and load me straight away.
Each 70-tonne load contains gold worth more than $25,000. Over the last 9 months, Sharon's hauled a massive $20 million worth.
The loader is actually loading my lead trailer, which is the trailer straight behind the cab of the truck.
At 50 metres, Sharon's road train is more than 10 times the length of an average car. The trailers can be unstable and difficult to keep on the dirt roads.
These trailers here, they pull like a jellyfish at a disco. They're not easy to pull. They do slop around a little bit.
Out here, life on the road is tough, even for the best of them. Made even tougher when women represent less than 2% of Aussie truckers.
For myself to drive a truck with all the big boys, I feel very privileged. Women have come a long way in the bush in the last 20 years, and it's just incredible what we're allowed to do and what we can achieve now. It's a tough lifestyle, but we do it because we love it.
After 44 kilometres, Sharon's made it to the mine's processing mill.
Righto, mate, we'll come on and tip off and all be good.
Offloading a tipper should be simple, but Sharon's trailers have been designed to carry grain, not heavy rock. One of the biggest risks is getting the tipper doors jammed in the rock pile.
My doors are longer doors than normal. They drop down really low, and if you can't sit away from your pile enough, you will dry bog yourself.
There's another problem. As tons of gold ore pours out, rocks roll back under the truck's wheels. Tyres and suspension take a hammering. Sharon's worried about her tyres. In this heat, the last thing she needs is a flat.
Something like that won't break up and you'll just end up blowing a whole heap of tyres. Not good. I don't want to change tyres, it's too hot. We get too close to the piles, we get rocks between the jewels, and as soon as we get onto the bitumen, they'll blow both tyres, so... And I've got one left to get me hammer and bash it out. You gotta smash and smash. My little friend. That's the culprit and I don't want them.
You check the bank?
In Darwin, Turbo is still waiting for money to fuel his truck.
No, nothing in there.
Ah, for sake. Can I go around and shoot all these now?
1,600 kilometres away in Mount Isa, his next load is waiting for him. If he can't leave in the next 24 hours, he'll lose the job.
But this is just bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
They say one thing and they don't do it.
Yeah.
They'll be getting phone calls tomorrow.
To fight the frustration, Turbo unleashes his secret weapon.
When I go to meditation, I'm going to a happy place. I do it so I become a better person, so I'm not an angry person, not an upset person. I don't need to be that person anymore.
Next morning,
Oh, that's hot.
there's still no money in the bank. His deadline is almost up. Desperate times call for desperate measures. At a garage, Turbo hopes he can use his charm to persuade the management to take a check. Heavy haulage trucker Yogi has arrived at the first pickup in a vital week for his new business. This brand new Cedar is worth more than $330,000.
Hold it.
It must be delivered without a scratch.
Just having a look as where I can go with the straps and chains. So obviously we don't want any damage. As people walk around it, they'll look at it, they'll touch it, they'll want to rub up beside it and pretend they own it.
The load's safely on board and Yogi's ready to leave. But then there's a problem.
I've got no brake lights on the truck now on the trailer, and something's shorting out and it's tripping the circuit breaker out there somewhere. So all the trailer lights work. There's just no brake lights at all.
Repairs and delays could cost Amanda and Yogi big money in lost business.
I've got to get it fixed. So our day has just turned pear-shaped.
His mechanic needs to check his schedule and ring him back.
Right, mate. Thank you.
While he waits, Yogi wires up a temporary fix. With time running short, he takes a gamble and heads for the mechanic's yard. But just as he does, the weather serves up an extra challenge.
As the rain comes.
On wet roads, Yogi will have to carefully navigate his way through city streets.
First tree, first problem. Very concerned. Yeah, I'm watching out for the trees. Just low trees right along there. They don't want any damage. Big trucker coming through. Get out of the way.
This delay puts the whole job on the line.
Yeah, we obviously lose money because we don't do the job because we're not going to get back today. So one of my mates will get the job. If I've got to pull out on the deal, then that's a bit frustrating because, you know, it's nice to put the money in the bank, so, yeah.
Up ahead, there's more bad news.
Oh, that's going to be tight.
A narrow section of roadworks.
Oh, this is going to stress me out, I reckon. Oh. Bugger. Yeah, they got one lane block.
Yogi must squeeze his 4.5 metre wide load through the gap. If he gets stuck now, his whole trip will end right here. Sharon Collins is on her next run. Once again, she hits the narrow dirt tracks, a constant hazard with oncoming traffic.
Train outbound, call point 3.
Sharon must check in constantly to find out if there's traffic heading towards her.
It gets a little bit tricky through this area because it's all only single lane, and if you do meet somebody, there's not a great deal of room to pull off in places.
To stop her fully loaded road train, she'll need almost 1 kilometre of track.
Get a bit of a run up for this section here. You got to have the right gears and be ready for another car coming, or yeah, we've got a blind hill at the top of it, so you never know what's coming over the top.
As Sharon reaches a blind hill, she's completely reliant on the radio to let her know what's on the other side.
We've got to be very careful. It can get a little bit exciting. I met a mob of cattle this morning on this hill.
As she makes it safely over the top, she heads downhill, picking up speed. Then, without warning...
And here we've got a water truck coming up.
There's barely room for one vehicle. Slam on the brakes, and Sharon risks rolling the 100-ton truck. Something or someone's got to give. In Perth, Yogi is still trying to make his way through narrow roadworks.
That's going to be tight. Hey, Curly. Stay there in the back. Just let me know what's going on. You're one lane block. Yeah, right. Concentrate, eh?
With work trucks and concrete barriers on either side of the road, Yogi's got just centimetres to spare. If the road narrows any further, he'll be stuck fast. Adding to his stress,
Yeah, mate. Come on, bud. Come on.
a roadwork truck is trying to squeeze past him.
Thanks, man. It'd be nice if you move. I can make it, mate, if you get over. Good job, Togs.
While Yogi survived one crisis, at the mechanics yard, there's bad news. The mechanics can't look at the truck until tomorrow.
But at the end of the day, we've got to come back. So yeah, because now today's this afternoon load will have to be tomorrow. So because it's like 10 o'clock now and we're not going to make it today.
Sharon is on a collision course. Without warning, a water truck has appeared directly in her path. Sharon must push the 100-ton truck as close to the edge of the track as she can.
Not a great deal of room, but we're doing our best. I didn't hear the water truck call, but he may be on a different channel.
While she survived one hazard, a few kilometres later, there's another.
Yeah, we've got a blown tyre and we'll need to change that ASAP.
It's time Sharon can't afford to lose. She must change a 55-kilo wheel in blistering 40-degree heat. If she can't get the job done quickly, she'll miss the last run of the day, costing her employer big money.
Before you take the wheel nuts right off, you got to give the side of the chock, that's a chock there, you got to give that a hit so that they release, they jam on there, and that's what holds your tyres on. If you don't do that, they'll come off like bullets and do some damage to knees, shins.
At $600 a tyre, the cost of working in the outback can rack up.
On an average out here, it'll be 2 to 3 a week tyre changes. Any more than that, you sort of don't make money on a job. Oh, watch all the steel sticking out of. Try and move my valve stem that's in the middle so it's accessible. This is where I start getting wild because it's the end of the day and nothing seems to work. part of it. The tough times, the good times. In any job, you're going to get hard areas where you just don't want to do it, or, yeah, you're out here for weeks and months on end and you've got to do it all yourself. So what do you do?
While she can get back on the road, Sharon's now almost out of daylight.
Oh, it's hot. Righto. Another load, eh?
She'll have to race the setting sun to make her last run of the day. At a petrol station, Turbo's been doing some fast talking to get fuel.
After all this drama, one piece of good news. They will actually take a check off. So I can fuel and I can get the out of town.
While he can fill up, it's a gamble. If Turbo isn't paid by the time the check hits his account, he'll have a brand new headache to deal with.
$2,245.16 gone in 10 minutes. That's clean enough, at least I can see what I'm about to bloody hit.
With his destination still more than 1,000 kilometres away, he needs to push on.
A delay at this point is a case of it breaks the bank. I've got to do what I've got to do to get there.
With just a small boat on board, he's running light. He can make up precious time.
At the moment, I'm basically loaded with thin air.
But up ahead, Turbo meets his nemesis.
Caravans. Here we are on a federal highway, 130 kilometre zone, and we're now doing 70 and dropping. It's all right, buddy boy. I got all the time in the world. I can do 60 kilometres an hour. They are an absolute danger, and I mean they're the biggest dangers on the road. I'm 40 metres in length, and I can't do anything. I've just got to sit here and endure this punishment.
While slow-moving tourists are part and parcel of life on the road, for Turbo, the hazard runs much deeper.
I had a caravan at 1 o'clock in the morning, sat in the middle of the road. I've had to put the truck off the road and into the bush. Seats collapsed into the floor, and it's just absolutely and utterly destroyed my spine. Big time. I'm having painkillers every day.
While Turbo can finally overtake, up ahead is something even more dangerous, a bushfire.
This area is actually very dry. It's really windy, which is not a good sign.
With around 50,000 of them a year in Australia, bushfires are a constant danger on outback highways.
If that has hit on the highway and it closes the highway, it is all over Red Rover. There could be 20, 30-foot flames right on the edge of the road. We're going to drive straight into the centre of that, straight into the heart of it.
His hopes rest on a radio call to another trucker.
Over there, northbound float. Yeah, mate, what's the DA back here of this scrub fire? Whereabouts is she, mate?
It's not a worry to you, mate. It's still well off the road.
While the news is good,
Looking at it, we are sort of going to run along the edge of it.
Turbo's lost valuable time. He has a long night ahead of him. Yogi is also pushing hard to make up lost time.
I'm not going to chuck it away yet. I'm not going to give him the towel yet. We'll still get it done.
Already delayed, he's fighting to keep a vital week's business on track.
I've had to change my time slots from today till tomorrow for the loading times of the tractors, and just talk to the customers and look, reassure them that their freight will turn up to the Darren field day. It's a worrying time for them as it is for me.
On the road, he has another problem to deal with, keeping his $330,000 freight out of the Western Australian bush.
It's quite tight through here and the road sort of drops away.
A kilometre ahead, Yogi's wife and pilot Amanda is in charge of clearing a path for the 4.5 metre wide load.
There is quite a bit of danger when we're going along these roads here. You've got to fully trust the vehicle coming towards you, that they're going to pay attention to your sign and lights and things like that.
Being the pilot and wife is not always easy, but Yogi and Amanda's journey together began 9 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it might have been the curls that got me intrigued and better wander over and say hello. So, yeah, kind of glad I did. So, yeah, even truck drivers fall in love, you know, like so. There you go. Did you marry me again?
In an industry where broken marriages are common, Yogi and Amanda are a rare exception.
I see how hard it is for him all the time, you know, like leaving and, you know, the kids getting upset and things, you know, when he's walking out the door.
I've got a very, very understanding wife who knows the transport industry.
I couldn't do it all the time like he does. Like, hats off to him, like, of, you know, going out and doing what he does to make a living for us. Hey, Glennie.
Kelly.
Just watch out, we've got the rail coming up here. Make sure, you know, you look left and right.
Thank you, Kelly, for the round.
See what I have to put up with all day long.
I am married to my pilot, so, you know, at the end of the day, we've got to figure out who's boss on the road and who's boss at home, you know. I'm the boss of this job and I got my wife's permission to say so.
On the road, as in life, Yogi depends on Amanda. As his pilot, his life is in her hands. Up ahead is a narrow bridge. Amanda warns oncoming traffic by moving into the middle of the road. But in his wing mirror, Yogi spots something. A car has decided to pass him, blind, over the bridge, risking both drivers' lives.
Probably couldn't wait till the overtaken lane here. Must need a bit of a hurry. Just one more thing.
The sun's almost setting on Sharon Collins. She's racing to complete her final gold ore run of the day. After 9 hard months on the road, the constant battering, long hours, flat tyres and stifling heat have taken their toll.
I'm a fairly tough sort of person, but I will break down. At the end of the day, I'll shed a few tears. I don't like the boys seeing that because it just makes me look weak, but we all have times where we just can't handle anymore. And I was a little bit like that a couple of weeks ago. I just blew 6 tyres and I couldn't deal with it anymore. I left the truck on the side of the road and I just went, need a coffee. I spent an hour out of the truck and that was it. Went back to the truck, felt a lot better, kept going.
Finally, Sharon can call it a day. She's been up since 5:30 a.m, but before she can relax, each of her 72 wheels will need to be checked.
Just giving my tyres a quick tap to see if anything's flat, then we have a flat tyre. Sitting off the rim, I can see it straight away because it's an outside one. Don't know what's happened there, but it's flat. We've got to change it. That's 2 flat tyres today.
At last, the day is over, and Sharon can finally cook dinner in the truck's kitchen, the mudguard.
Living the dream. It's every trucker's dream. Oh, I don't know if it is a dream anymore. After a while, it's very tedious and you struggle a little bit.
Yogi has finally made it to the Dowran farming exhibition.
Hello, biggles!
Importantly, his load, a 10-tonne cedar, has arrived without a scratch.
We'll get it off here, we'll roll this up. We'll have to go into the field day site and unload the tyres because we've got the crane in there.
The delicate job of unloading is going well. Until Yogi spots a problem. The load is too long to come off the trailer without scraping it. He needs to raise the wheels of the load. If the $330,000 cedar doesn't arrive in mint condition, he faces an unhappy client.
Just hold in there. It's like, you know, it's gonna drag. Where I know it's gonna drag like just a bit. Yeah.
It's not perfect, but the cedar's okay. Yogi now needs to get back to Perth for repairs to his brake lights as quickly as he can. He has 3 more machines to pick up and he's well behind schedule.
Now I probably can't load till 8 o'clock, so we're behind.
For Yogi and Amanda, this week was supposed to be a new start in their new business.
You got any money?
Never got the money, have you? Always got to bail you out.
Come on, give me some cash.
Behind the smiles, the pressure is mounting. If they can't get the truck fixed and back on schedule, a lifelong dream hangs in the balance. The next few days will be make or break. For Sharon, it's the start of a special day. She's scheduled to take a break after a long 9 months trucking. But before she can relax, there's one last obstacle.
We've been asked by the mine to do a safety audit on the truck to make sure it's compliant with all the safety inspections for the mine.
With strict safety rules, every truck must pass an inspection or be taken off the road.
A little bit nervous about the safety inspection actually.
And Sharon has a problem. Her windscreen is cracked. It's a minor fault, but it could fail the truck.
These guys here will be pretty strict. If they do stand me down, that's my job done. I've got to go and get it fixed, and I don't get paid if I don't pull the oars.
As she arrives, the inspector is waiting.
How you going?
Okay, what's going on today? I don't know if you know. Safety check, purely safety, okay?
Yep.
Your flashing light, I've seen it working, so I'm going to pass that, okay?
I've got one on the tail as well that's working.
Okay.
So, yep. Left and right, I can do left and right.
Repairs in this remote outback post are rarely quick. If she fails, she and the company risk losing thousands of dollars.
Okay, now all your tyres.
Yeah, I did 2 yesterday, so they changed out good. And I got 3 spares left on the rack.
Hydraulic cylinders and hoses, conditions of hydraulic.
I blew a hydraulic hose the other week. It's been changed out, but there's still a little bit of mess around, but we got no water or anything to clean, so it wasn't too bad actually.
No.
So far, so good. But it's time for Sharon's big worry. The cracked windscreen.
Windscreens, you could no.
Yeah, I've got a crack through them both, but they're not in visual.
Thousands of dollars in lost earnings is riding on the decision of the inspector.
It's all good. Okay, I'm happy.
Cool. Thanks, Don.
Have a safe trip.
No worries. Thanks very much. Whew, that was all good. We passed with flying colours. I'm happy with that because, yeah, it means I can keep trucking.
With the drama over, Sharon can look forward to that well-earned break. But suddenly, there's a change of plans.
And unfortunately, I thought I was going to be able to go home this weekend, but that's turned to custard.
The company needs her to stay. After months of drought, the forecast says the rainy season could be about to break. It's all hands on deck to get every last load in before the weather arrives.
So I'm not really happy about it because I'm tired and I just want to go home.
She's been baked, battered and bruised for the last 9 months. After 800 trips and nearly 80,000 kilometres, Sharon has to once again get back on the road.
I've got to keep trucking while the work's there because as soon as it rains, there'll be no work. So, yeah. It's just a long time to be trucking.
In the dead of night, Turbo's pushing hard, but something isn't right.
I can hear a metallic sound coming out from underneath somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is as yet. So all I can do now is just see if I can see anything.
Out here, deep in the outback, it's a dangerous place to have a problem.
It's real big snake territory, this. Mate, and they'll actually be curled up on the ground. Just make sure this is right. Yeah.
A loose chain seems to be the problem.
That's all it takes, is one little thing like that could end up losing the whole boat off the side.
But Turbo's spotted something else.
I just want to climb in and just double check this. Oh! Oh!
A part of his brakes has come loose. It's hanging by a thread. He's out of mobile contact, hundreds of kilometres from the nearest town. He's alone in the pitch black of night and in snake country. To make matters worse, if Turbo can't fix the problem, he risks losing a job and thousands of dollars.